their breath small puffs of white. Meg turned her back to them. "Sylvie, I worry you're taking on too much." Sylvie laughed, and tiny crystals formed inside her muffler. "You're the one who encouraged me to join the women's club to begin with. You said I needed something else to do, something else to think and care about, aside from Father and the store. And you were absolutely right. My world had become far too small. I fear you'll wear yourself out. Between your volunteering activities and taking care of Father and the store and your tenants' needs, I don't see anyone taking care of you." "What exactly are you saying?" Not that Sylvie couldn't guess. "There's still time." A lock of hair whipped about Meg's collar, and she tucked it back under her hat. "You could still find someone to love you." "You love me, and so do your children. Nate is like a brother to me. Father loves me, as do Carl and Anna Hoffman." "You know what I mean." Sylvie folded her arms. "And you know where I stand on the subject of matrimony." She didn't need a husband in order to be fulfilled. Furthermore, she had no time for one. The fact that she'd had her heart smashed to bits by her first love years ago didn't need to be mentioned. Since then, there'd been a couple of suitors, but she had only entertained the idea of courtship to please her father, who claimed he wanted to see her settled. Ironically, however, he'd declared neither suitor could pass muster. She'd agreed. "All right." Meg rolled her lips between her teeth, hesitating. "I just don't like to think of how lonely you'll be after... Well, Father isn't getting any better." Sylvie dipped her chin into the folds of her muffler. As much as she wanted to, she couldn't deny it. Her father's health had been broken by his time in the Andersonville prison camp during the Civil War, and it only grew worse with each passing year. There was a reason he'd recently transferred ownership of the bookstore to her. She took her sister's hands, Meg's scar tissue, a reminder of all they'd been through together, including and after the Great Fire that ravaged Chicago 9 years ago. "I'll adjust, and I'll always have my sister." Meg replied with a fierce embrace, then joined her children in the carriage and wheeled away. Sylvie would return home by streetcar. Picking her way between islands of slush, Sylvie emerged from the alley's shadows onto the street the orphanage faced. The sun was bright in the powder blue sky, but held little warmth. While she paused at the front doors, a brawny man approached with a little girl who clutched an adult-sized peacock blue shawl at her neck. "Excuse me." The man tipped his cap to her, with fingers chapped red at the knuckles. He carried the raw smell of keeping company with animals, living and dead. "The orphanage is open, yes?" Dread for the child tightened her chest. It is," she stuttered. "I hope you have no need of it." It wasn't her business. But if this child was to join the orphans in this facility, then she would become her concern in an instant. The man frowned. "I heard they take in children whose parents can't provide for them well enough." His voice was as gruff as his beard, his words thickly accented. Broken blood vessels spread tiny red webs across his nose and cheeks. "I heard they offer clothing, food, and shelter. They keep them safe. Is it not so?" The little girl tugged the hem of his unraveling sleeve and said something in a different language. He placed his hand on her uncovered head. "Not now, Rosalia." He said the name with such tenderness, it sounded like a poem. Rosa Leah. He looked up. "My name is Nikolai Dombrowski. This is my daughter. My wife didn't survive the journey from Poland."